Good morning, everyone's so quiet today. Your words today, I put both up there. Today's is neophyte, and tomorrow's is nebulous. That's some good words this week. It was hard for me to pick just 5 words. So neophyte and nebulous. What's a neophyte?
Beginner convert.
Yeah, a beginner, someone who's new at something. You may have been a neophyte at ballet when you started. And what is nebulous?
Vague.
Vague. The teacher's instructions were nebulous.
Would it be like if someone's to be a neophyte or to be neophyte?
They can be a neophyte. Yeah, it's a noun.
Neophyte.
So you can't use it to like describe them like you could like the neophyte pianist?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yep. Here are the different ways you can use it.
Neophytic. Neophytish.
Or
Neophytism.
Neophytism? So what would that be?
Neophytism.
How would you use that in a sentence?
the neophytism of the group hindered their whatever.
Nebulous.
Adjective. Nebulously, nebulousness, nebulousness, nebulousness. Oh, non-nebulous, non-nebulously. Huh.
Nebulous.
I'll give you a few minutes. You need a few minutes?
No.
No?
No.
You don't?
This is weird.
Mhm.
When you were saying, like our projects for finals, we're gonna do it on the days for finals, right? I understand.
Say that again, you're gonna do it on what?
On the days for finals.
Yes.
I was wondering,
Yes.
which days do we have? That's a good question.
I have the final exam schedule. Actually, I'll be posting it. On Wednesday, the 24th, you're gonna have finals for period 1, 3, and 7. You can write this down if you want, but I'm gonna post it. On Thursday, you're gonna have finals 6 and 2, and in that order, period 6 and period 2.
Wait, so what's the name?
And on Friday, the 26th, you'll have finals in periods 4 and 5.
Yeah, we have French.
We don't have
French
seventh
is,
period.
French is fifth period.
Yeah, no, I mean seventh.
So we have
period.
French on Friday, we have chemistry on Thursday, and we have algebra on, wait, let's look.
So you'll present your
It's on Friday too.
thing in here
French is seventh
On-
period, right?
Friday.
We don't have 3 and 7, so we're just gonna be like sitting around.
Yeah, but we have one. On Wednesday, we have algebra.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, we don't have anything else.
I think we do, well, then Thursday we only have 10.
Yeah. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is what I mean.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
3 days.
We don't have finals on Tuesday.
It's
Wednesday, Tuesday. It's Wednesday, Tuesday.
But I thought we were doing finals on Friday. I'm so confused. It's Thursday.
What is literature fourth period? Okay.
Yes.
So we'll have lit and French on Friday.
It's nice to do it. That is Friday. Oh, Marie, we have biology the last day. I don't wanna wait till Friday to do biology.
And Thursday, biology. We don't have sixth period. We do have
So
second
we
period.
do.
Man, I wish it was like 3 and 2, so we had, or like 3 and, I don't know, I just.
I'm just saying, 'cause I can't do biology, and it's gonna, I wanna get
So that way we don't have to come in.
That's
for
how.
math and that would sound great.
Math is my
And right now,
We don't have French. Still don't have any.
we take our quiz.
Quiz time. If you want me to get your word of the day, so see they're lying out.
Thank you.
All right, the Crucible. Crucible. So we are finished with Act 1, right?
No, we're not
No, we're
quite
not.
done yet.
We're not. We need to, yes. We stopped at the bottom of page 36. Mr. Hale had just gotten there. Did you have time to read those couple pages about him? Okay, good. All right, so he has been asked to come and rid Betty of her demonic spirit, and he feels flattered, and privileged to have been asked to do this, because apparently he's done it before, right? He has experience with witches and such. And so how do you think the people in the town feel about an outsider coming in to do this for them?
Would be something like he doesn't really have the right to be there because it's like he doesn't live there. It's not his people that he's dealing with.
Okay?
I would be afraid too, because it's like, if you're bringing an outsider to it, it means you can't handle it yourself, and then the situation is bigger than what you can handle, so
Okay.
it's much serious.
And have small towns really changed that much? Why do you say that, Paige?
I feel like my grandparents live in a really small town. It's like everybody there knows everybody, and everybody knows everyone's business.
It's like living in a fishbowl.
Everyone's business.
My
Yeah.
grandparents' town is the same.
Yeah.
They know everyone.
Like my grandma can't go to Walmart without like stopping in every aisle to talk to someone. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have like 4 things on the list and it's taking hours.
Right, yeah. However, what would be the positive side of living in a small town?
It's not always bad though, and it's like they're kind of like to help each other though. They know
Okay.
each other's business and they're there, not like. I mean, some people are nosy, but it's not in such a bad way.
Okay, it may not be to the extreme that in the Crucible here. We're talking about the negatives and positives of living in a small town, Holly. Lauren?
A positive thing would be like you know people so you know like you could feel safe around.
Okay, true. Crime is probably lower. You would know everybody, so you might know who the mischievous people are. Are those the only good things about living in a small town? I've lived in both.
There's not.
I mean, and I don't
a
consider
lot of
Fort Wayne
walking
that
to do.
huge. What, Marnie?
There's not a lot of walking to do.
True.
Fort Wayne's not large.
I think security is synonymous with
Yeah.
small, right? Feels safer. Some small towns even, they don't really, they're not really vigilant about locking their doors or even locking their car doors in the driveway. And you know everybody when you go out to walk your dog or take a walk. You know your neighbors and all of that. Some people don't like that. Some people grow up in a small town and they move to bigger cities because they don't like that. But then a lot of times they end up moving back to the small town when they raise their family. So, in a way, small towns haven't changed at all since the Crucible. But in a way, we find comfort in that as well. So, for Reverend Hale to come to the small town, the reader might think, boy, he doesn't know what he's getting into, right? These people are crazy, right? And they're also sort of resentful. He probably has to prove himself, right? As any new person does when you're new on the scene, right? When you're a neophyte, I suppose. You have to prove yourself. Sierra made the comment with the new teacher coming, Mrs. Faulkner coming, Sierra said, now I'm going to have to prove myself to her, And Mrs. Faulkner probably feels the same way, right? Just like I felt in the fall when I came. I was like, okay, I've got to, win these kids over because they loved their previous teacher and, so, and that's good. So Mr. Hale, Reverend Hale probably feels the same way, because the people in the town might feel like they've failed in some way, right? They couldn't help Betty So they've had to call in reinforcements, yeah.
I think that he also has to prove himself because he comes from probably a larger town, so, like, he needs to show them that, like, he has, like, more information
Okay.
on, like, how to fix them.
Okay, good point, Meg.
I feel like small towns aren't as accepting as like New York City would be.
Yeah,
Cause like New York, they don't care what you wear, they don't care like how you look, how you act, unless you're like hurting them. But
yeah,
but in a small town, it's like, oh, look at her hair and like,
Exactly.
stuff like that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
New York's,
Very
like,
good point.
wild,
Everyone
but it's
dresses
like,
the same.
it's just like,
Look
it's
at us.
in reality if you go to like New York, like, you know, like Maddie said, like, they don't care, like
Yeah.
LA, like,
Big cities.
you know, like.
because usually, politically speaking, small towns are more conservative, bigger cities are more liberal thinking. So, I've taught in all different kinds of towns. My first teaching job was in Bern, which is very,
I did principal really close today.
yeah, very small, very everyone knows everybody, and most everybody's related to somebody. And
Because it's a lot of Amish people.
there's a big Amish community there, the big Mennonite community as well, and so they're very conservative, and they don't take too kindly to the big city folk coming in. And then I taught in Columbia City, which is different, bigger,
Still really small.
and it showed, in the student body, and then, to Southside, Fort Wayne, which is Sin City to some people, so it's just what you're used to, and
Like,
people are different, and people move to different sized towns for different reasons. So, Mr. Hale, we've yet to see, the reader's yet to see what he has in store for him, yes.
I also think that, they're very that like, usually small towns are, like you said, pretty close-minded, and they don't really like to let anyone else in. And so, like, bringing this person in, it might, like, start some trouble.
Okay,
Like, even more trouble, like, and create more drama.
okay, now, don't get me wrong, I didn't say they were closed-minded, I said they're conservative, because I know a lot of people who grew up in a small town, and they went away to college in a bigger town, and then, like I said, they came back because they went out and got knowledge and brought it back, which I think is good. I guess what I didn't like to see, especially in Bern, was the kids would go to college really close by, or go to a really, really small college, and not see the community grow like it should, and they didn't really like progress. I remember when the Dairy Queen was built in town. I remember when the McDonald's was built in Bern. That was huge, because it's a Swiss community, and the McDonald's is adorable. It says
It's really
Welcome
cute.
and Danke on the signs when you leave. It's all, Swiss, because Bern and Geneva are Swiss towns, and so everything there, the buildings have to reflect the Swiss heritage, and they really police the situation. And I specifically remember years ago, when you bought a value meal, you could purchase a DVD with it. And one of the options was Ghost, and the town wouldn't let McDonald's sell the movie Ghost because it was, they thought depicted possibly hell or demonic figures. So it's a very controlling environment, and here I am driving in from Fort Wayne, and there weren't many of us who drove in from Fort Wayne, so we were kind of seen as, the city folk, and that made me laugh, because I don't think of Fort Wayne as huge, and so,
You drove from Fort Wayne to Bern every morning?
yes.
It's like an hour and a half drive.
No, actually it was, because I live on the south side
Oh,
of Fort Wayne,
okay.
so it was like 40 minutes, but,
40.
yeah, I did it for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I did Columbia City, which was shorter, and then Southside, of course, which is a mile from my house, so I eventually got closer to home, yeah.
I mean, me, like, coming from, like Orange County, like, it's just, like, in my opinion, I think that people are very close-minded
Yeah.
about living in Fort Wayne, and, like, especially with, like, the people who, like, the mayor, well, not the mayor, but, like, the people that are, like, older.
The council members.
The council members, they don't wanna change anything.
I can see that, I can agree
And,
with you
like,
on that.
Like my mom and I are like, there's like so much potential for this
Yes.
city, like it could be a thriving like city,
Well,
but
it's a lot better than it used to be. Downtown is coming back, and I remember when, you guys were probably really young, do you remember the old Wizard Stadium?
Yeah.
Okay, and how they wanted to move that downtown,
That
that
was
was a
huge. That was
huge deal. That was like moving heaven and earth to get that done.
I saw, wasn't it next to like the
Like everyone
Coliseum.
loves it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone likes it now.
And now that it's down there, even the people who are against it can see what it's doing to downtown.
Oh,
I mean, now look
totally
at the
helped it.
downtown restaurants, and there's stores down there now, and now there's apartments, right? And so, it's progress.
Yeah, my
And
mom and I were just like this city could like, we could have like nice malls, like we could have Nordstrom's here. And like there are people here that like, you know, can afford to buy that kind of clothing or whatever. But like, they're just so closed-minded that they don't want to like change. Like,
Yeah.
I think that like
That's
they're
what makes
really
it
afraid of change.
I think
It's probably
like
hard.
a lot of it is I think everyone likes it being kind of small, and
Mhm.
so if we did bring in those kind of stores, it would make it a lot bigger of a city,
Yeah.
and that would kind of ruin like Fort Wayne's very small. Like,
But
well,
don't you
it's
want
not
like,
actually
like
that
a
small.
thriving city, you know what I mean?
Some people don't.
Like,
Yeah, like, I
If you
like
want
it
a
like
thriving
that.
city, then you don't move here, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
And see, that was the
like-
thing in Bern when the Dairy Queen came. I mean, the city council had to
It's
vote on it
Dairy
and everything, and it was like, yeah, but the more businesses you bring in and the more people you're gonna bring in, and they didn't want that. And, some people did, some people didn't. They're like, if I want Dairy Queen, I'll drive to Decatur, or I'll drive to Bluffton, or whatever. So,
Just my opinion, but-
yeah, no, I understand exactly where you're coming from, Holly. We do have, on the city and county council, we have a lot of older men and older white men. And they are, some of them are very stuck in their ways, and they, because it costs money. Like the Martin Luther King Bridge downtown, I think it's beautiful. But some people think it's a waste of money.
Well, I mean, it is like we're using a lot of
We
lights,
didn't
but I mean, it looks
It's
cool.
cool.
It is
Like,
cool.
Come on.
When you drive over
I
at
mean,
night,
you could
it's
say
cool.
that like light up Santa is using a lot of lights.
That's tradition.
And like all of the lights that like line the like Sunbeam factory, like
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. Like
But I think they pay for it.
what?
Yeah, and you know, Headwaters Park, that's progress. The skating rink, that's progress. I mean, it's bringing more things for the young people downtown, which is what we need. And the River Greenway, I think
I
that's
love the River
awesome.
Greenway.
It connects, I mean, I can get on the River Greenway at my house and ride to Coliseum. I mean, it connects, and it's making the city more fit. I heard on the radio the other day, the 5 most walkable cities. Of course, was a city as small as Fort Wayne wasn't one of them, but it was like Washington DC, New York City, things like that. Minneapolis, I think, may have been the 5th one, but, you know, it's what the people in charge want and what the city wants, what the voters want, and what the community wants, and so it has come a long way, and I see downtown really thriving. I mean, now we've got like Champions and J.K. O'Donnell's and Jimmy John's and there's a lot of local places down there too owned by, you know, community members like the Dash Inn and Pint and Slice and things like that. Yeah, so,
It's a pizza place.
pizza.
I love it.
It's so cute.
Yeah, it is very cute, and the upstairs can be rented out. I went to a
We
graduation
always
party
get
there.
there.
Yeah, so I do see growth, but it's been slow. I will give you that. Yeah, Maddie.
Another difference is like the Martin Luther King Bridge, they like lit it up rainbow because rainbow is fun.
Oh boy, here
But
I know
then
what you're saying.
people
like, oh, yeah.
complained about like, oh, it's supporting gay rights
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
No, like, I'm not
Because it's
necessarily like I'm not
rainbow.
for gay rights and stuff, but I
Just
don't.
the
The
color.
rainbow lights are cool. I
Yeah.
like the rainbow
Yeah.
lights.
And it's like the Empire State Building was lit up rainbow.
Yeah.
Or
And I'm sure there are racist people in town who didn't want the bridge built in his name. I'm sure. I mean, that goes without
Then
saying.
there are also the people who think they should have been more, and like the bridge wasn't enough.
Right, you're exactly right. There's no pleasing.
I like it.
There's no
So
pleasing
you can't-
everybody.
Yeah, you can't.
Like the
you
blue
can't,
and
you know,
yellow
silence
lights and
everything
everything. I
else.
don't have rainbows.
So it's like, wow, we're becoming a real downtown, you know. And I love on State Street. I love where it says, there's that
Yeah.
welcome to State Street, or
There's
Yeah.
one that says like welcome to downtown, but
I
they
like
got
that.
like two. They just put welcome downtown.
Yeah, I do like that. It's, what they're trying to do, and I think what Mayor Henry's trying to do also is attract more people, more business groups who'll bring money in. Like this festival you guys are doing is gonna bring like 500 people to the downtown area. That's what we've been telling, restaurants when we try to get them to donate. Like, you'll be on our map of places to eat.
Yeah.
If you, like, I just dropped off a letter to Coney Island that Miss Savage wrote, and, asking them to donate, some hot dogs, and
Oh my gosh,
We're
that
like,
would be
I
awesome.
love, like,
We
I'm
will-
not a meat eater,
Yeah.
but I will eat them.
I like hot dogs even though they're just,
I've never been there.
oh, it's neat, and you can get
You've
Coke in a
never
bottle,
been to
which is
Coney
my favorite.
Island?
What
We're going
is-
right now.
All I know that is like Mrs. Servan always talked about how Mr. Servan like smelled like onions and everything.
Oh, it's
amazing.
amazing.
It's like
It's really good.
it's so small and it's
And it's
always
locally
crowded,
owned, and
it's like,
it's,
you drink Coke out of bottle.
I love
Wait,
Coke in
where is
bottle.
it at?
It's downtown, like okay.
Maine.
The street was like
it's
You
by
know
the
where the-
Republican headquarters.
yeah, it's right next.
Okay,
to
well,
that.
do
You know where
the
Stoners
building
is?
with,
Yeah, they're like
It's like
It's right around the corner from Stoners.
And then his wife
I don't
owns
really know
like
that town.
a costume shop right there, but they closed it and made it part of Stoners,
Yeah.
even though it's.
I love how you've lived here like your whole life.
Lauren, do you know the building with the big Santa Claus on it?
It's right
Yeah.
there.
It's right
parking
near
lot,
there.
it's like, that's the parking
It's
lot
like
right
right
next to it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, yeah. And people,
My dad likes that.
we go there like once a year, for some special celebration. It's not fancy, but
No.
it's,
That's why I
They
like
have,
it
like, a
though.
I me too.
jukebox,
It's just
and
like
so
a-
old-fashioned.
takes you back, and you can go in and get a Coney dog and a Coke in the bottle, and it's just,
And they're completely-
nostalgic, I guess.
Makes me
Yeah,
so
they're
hungry.
completely yeah. People like walking through the back door through the kitchen, like we've done that a couple
Yeah.
times. Well, my dad knows all those people there because he works.
Well,
for
he's
the
right there,
corner.
he can probably
So-
walk right there, yeah.
Oh yeah, he does all the
Cause
time.
I drove right by Regal's on Superior yesterday when I dropped off the letter, but, we're gonna have them on the map of places to eat for all the people who are coming to the festival, so, if you donate, you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours, sort of theory, so, I think that's the intention of Mayor Henry and some of the younger council members, is to get more, festivals and business meetings and groups to come to town and stay at the Grand Wayne Center, come to one of our ball games, and, I am not a huge baseball fan, but I love going to the Tin Caps game. It's just
Me
so
too.
fun.
I love like the grassy part they have too, where you can just like bring like
Yes.
a blanket.
Yeah.
and
Yes,
sit.
it's just,
Oh, I never get to sit there.
it's a neat place.
And a lot of times they're bringing like a lot of famous artists. Which is
Yes,
really surprising.
and, oh shoot, and now they have a farmer's market
Yeah.
that, comes. You know what? I'm not gonna see you guys tomorrow. If you could finish Act 1 on your own, there's not that many pages, okay? And then we'll start Act 2 on Monday. We'll discuss it.